good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Chris Gingras here from Toronto, Canada. We are not in Daytona Beach right now. We're actually in our hometown in Toronto, and my wife and I are going to be conducting a wonderful, wonderful training here this morning on the 4 types of downline and how and who you want to work with, right? And we're going to give you some guidelines to help you with that. But before we begin, Tammy, let's recognize all the folks that are joining us here this morning. Let's just see. Okay, we have Ori. You're from Uganda. Oh, this is wonderful, wonderful. You
Awesome.
know, we haven't had a chance to go to Uganda yet. In East Africa, the only place we've been is Kenya. So we have to go to Rwanda, Uganda. I mean, these are all nice places we haven't had a chance to visit yet. So welcome. Let's see here. We have Enionam from Ghana. Ghana, we've been, I don't know, about 15 times. We've been to Accra. Oh, we've been to all the different cities. Actually, wonderful, wonderful. It's a beautiful country. The people are just, yeah, wonderful people.
We were in
Uh,
Tanzania.
yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have Esther from Ghana. Welcome, Esther. I know you've done some trainings for us a few weeks back, so well done. We have Dr. Fedeli. Welcome from Ghana. This is awesome. Fulera, awesome. I know you are in Belgium, I believe. Actually, welcome. Great to have you here. I think we met you the first time it was I believe it was in Côte d'Ivoire. That's what it was, right? Let's see here. We have Mark Stevens. Welcome from Idaho, USA. We have Mark Stevens. Welcome, welcome. We have Tammy, of course. We
I'm
have
here.
Renee. Let's see here. We have Dr. H from Tyler from Texas. Welcome. We have Cyrus. Welcome from Sweden. That is so nice. That's the country I'd
I
love to go
love
visit.
global
Yeah,
platform.
it's
Love it, love
beautiful over
it.
there. Yeah, yeah. And let's see here. We have, oh, the names are coming up. Let's see here. We have Windsor from Beloti from Quebec. This is beautiful. Quebec is a beautiful city, folks. You have a chance to go visit there. It's awesome. We have Lewis. We have Barbara from London, Ontario. Hey, Barbara and Paul, probably beside you. Let's see. We have Linda Walters from Mississauga. Welcome, Linda. We have Zoe from Ghana. Let's see here. We have Yvonne from Colombia. Hola. Buenos dias. And we have here John from SXU. Oh, the UK. This is awesome. Again, I've been to London. That is such a beautiful country. I remember at the time the exchange rate was like outrageous. It was like $1.60 for $1 Canadian. I remember it was quite aggressive in those days. Okay, we have here Kelly. Welcome, welcome from New York, and Cyrus. Welcome. Great to have you here. Okay, so Tammy, why is this training so important today? Why is it that we're conducting this training?
Well, Chris and I often we have conversations before we do our trainings, just so you know how do we kind of put this all together? What makes us think of doing these things is we work and mentor with our team members. And as we do that, we think of subjects that could be really, really important for everybody else to learn from. So these Saturday trainings are very, very important. And one of them that I was telling Chris, there's so many different types of people who come into this industry. Often in general, and you'll get that, it's part of the objection game is people don't like network marketing, it's a pyramid scam, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, there's different types of people who come into this profession and different personality types, learning different personality types. It doesn't matter even if you have a job. When you go to a job, not everybody has a same personality type, right? So you're dealing and connecting with people who have different ways of doing things. And we've learned to adapt, adjust, and connect with people, in different stages and different situations. And that's part of being in business, right? So we thought this would be a really great subject of the 4 types of downlines that you're going to have, that you're going to notice, and you're going to find yourself in here. You're going to categorize yourself in one of them, 2 of them, maybe even more, right? And but it's important to know because what the most important thing that you're going to get out of this is the percentages of people in your team. If you're brand new, this is perfect for you because you're going to be like, oh, now I get this training. You know what I mean? But if you've already got a team, then you'll know who kind of fits in these categories of people that you are working with. And at the end of the day, it's about growing a business. It's about evolving and growing. And we always want to work with people who want to evolve and grow and not have to, drag anybody across the finish line,
Yeah.
right? Because
So
it's exhausting.
yeah, you probably know we don't have any slides today. We're just going to be
No.
sharing with you some of our knowledge on the 4 type of downlines and who you want to work with.
Yeah.
Now, in saying this, also I recognize that we have some folks from the live chat on YouTube. I just want to recognize Kevin here from Utah. Great to have you with us. We have here Michael. Thank you for joining us from Trinidad. Michael in Trinidad. Oh, this is really cool. You know, my
Yes.
mom is Trinidadian from
Yeah.
Port of Spain. It's not interesting. And of course in Yanam is also there. So you went both places in Yanam. So I just wanted to recognize that. I know some of you just came in. Oh, we have Luza from Peru. This is so awesome.
Peru.
What a beautiful
Love
country.
Peru.
Man, you're so
I
far
love the world.
high. I remember it was really interesting how high Peru is compared to the rest of the world. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful country. What is that place
Brazil.
there that is that magical place that we went? Tammy, do you remember? Where people go to meditate, and it's just a
Oh my
brilliant
God, why is it not coming to me?
Machu Picchu. Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah,
Machu
Machu
Picchu.
Picchu.
Folks, if you happen to have an opportunity to go to Peru, you want to go there. You
Hmm.
absolutely want to go there. It's brilliant, brilliant. The culture, what they've created there in the past. It's just the kind of technology that we don't even use today was actually done. It's just, it's amazing how beautiful the world is. So don't pay too much attention to the world out there, because I'm telling you, it is a beautiful world and the people are absolutely beautiful. So the
So
point
true.
here on the 4 types of downline, let's talk about this. And this is not a long training, but it's an important training, because as you build this business, folks, I know we all want to make money. I know we want to be successful. I know we want, especially in today's economy, we're looking for different ways to subsidize our income. And I assure you, you can do that. But you need to understand the synergy of the people that will come into your business. And you can't get upset when things don't go your way, because sometimes the nature of things, it is what it is, and you need to work around it. And that's what we want you to be aware of this. Because you bring 10 people on your team, it doesn't mean that these 10 people are going to work the business. And that's exactly what we want to share with you here. Because Tammy and I have been in this business for a long time. We've done very well with it. And we've been through all these different categories we're going to cover here on these 4. The first one, and again, folks, we're not pointing the fingers. We're not telling you this is bad, this is good. We just want to give you a perspective for you to understand what happens when you look at your income, when you look at your teams, when you look at how big your team is, but things are not happening the way you would expect to have based on the amount of people. You need to understand the kind of people that are into your business based on who you brought on board, or based on maybe some spillover if you're lucky enough to get some of that. Okay. But at the end of the day, to create a successful network marketing, it's not about you build this side and I build this side. Folks that think like that have a very hard time, because they always have expectations.
Mhm.
The key is to build your business by doing the activities, by following the guidelines that we've been training you. Right. Last week, I believe it was Randy, who had a wonderful training on
We
the
did an
right.
interview with him. Yeah,
Yeah,
on the
that's right. It
comp
was the
plan.
interview with Randy
That's
on
right.
the right applications with what's
Yes.
coming with the compensation plan. And I'm telling you, it's a very rich compensation plan, but you have to work at it. This is not something like you buy a lottery ticket where you're going to work, you're going to win lots of money. It's not about that. It's about doing the work. And as you do the work, you qualify. But as you do the work, sometimes there will be these different 4 types of people. And the first one are what we call the whiners and the complainers. And again, we're not pointing the fingers. We just want you to be aware of this. And I want you to turn around and you're a whiner, you're a no, no, no. That's not the point. We want you to be aware when you look at your organization, what you have, right? And you know who they are. They complain about everything: the price, the product, the time, the trainings. There's always something wrong. That's how they tend to run their lives, right? No matter what you do, there will always be issues. And often it's the reason why maybe their life is a reflection of that. We all know today, I think this is, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, talking about what you think about expense was like witchcraft. But I think today we understand that that's quite real. What you think about will be your reality. And these are people that makes up to about 27% of your team. And the reality is they will eventually quit anyway. They always complain. It's unfortunate, folks, but our goal here is to educate you so we can kind of give you some shield to shield yourself from the emotional situation that may occur that could get you out of the game, not understanding these numbers. These are numbers and it's part of the game. 27% of your team will be these folks. Don't get upset with these guys. Just be patient. Just point them to the right direction, and we'll give you some guidelines on how to work with this. Tammy, what are your thoughts on the point?
Yeah. So some examples, we call them little dragons, by the way. This is what that we say. Oh, here's a little dragon. You're going to recognize these little things. You might see it when somebody does something in the group, when they know they're not supposed to do something in a group. Sometimes it could be an accident. It happens, right? The key is not to point anybody out on any platform, to privately connect with them, explain why they shouldn't be posting things in that particular group, and what the purpose of the group is for. And we always say in our profession, if somebody has, and some of these complaints, by the way, could be legit, honestly.
Agreed.
But you don't share that open in platforms. You don't share that at a live event and just go mingling with people and making trouble, right? So what you do is go to the person that you have an issue with directly, or go up if you don't know how to handle a situation. And we've done this many times where we've been in situations where we didn't know what to do. You're new in the industry. So we went up to find out, how do I handle that? I've never went through this situation before, and you learn a lot of skills along the way in doing this. Okay. So, and not all of them are going to quit, by the way. Some of them, they don't even know. So they're kind of putting things out there, not even realizing. So, but when you have conversations with people, as Chris and I do often, we get to the root cause of people's pain. And this is really, really important, because you need to do this in building teams, and you also need to do this with your prospects, right? Because it's about finding out where it's hurting. Because if it's bothering them, some people want to voice it, and some people voice it quite strong and want the whole world to hear about it. You see this on social media all the time, right? So it's to understand where they're coming from. Never call anybody out on any platform. Privately connect with them. They really appreciate it when you do that, by the way, and because they know that you care, right? So these are just some suggestions that I'd like to share with you, and things that we're not always going to have the same personality type. And I always tell myself, Tammy, just love them where they're at. That's always helped me a lot to get through some of the things, because some have very strong personalities and some just only want to win and only want to be right. Just love them where they're at. And yeah.
And just move forward.
Try and create win-wins, right?
And that's the key. And this is how you grow a very successful team, is by embracing the negative and the positive, and try to create an environment of synergy where everybody has a space, and in patience, and focusing on the relationship. These are all the things. And I think one of the reasons that Tammy and I have been very successful in this business has a lot to do with this kind of philosophy, right? We're not just like a numbers game. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Sometimes you hear that. It is accurate that the more people you talk to, the more chances you'll bring people on board. But at the end of the day, you don't want people to leave faster than you bring them in. To keep them on board, you need to create that environment. There will always be people leaving. It's just the nature of things. It's fine. It's okay. And don't fear that. I'm just saying that if you create an environment that is friendly and so forth, you will find that people will stick around. And like Tammy said, and I want to underline that, sometimes complaining, it's quite legit, and it's important, because there's an issue that needs to be resolved, right? And just want to underline another thing is, the Telegram group that we have is designed to support the team, right? Sometimes you'll have some folks that, like Tammy say, they want to be heard, and they're going to turn around and whine all over this. And you have brand new people in that are just getting started. And of course, there's some folks that are clueless about that. And you're going to turn around and dump all their issues in there. It's not for that. It's designed to um, to educate, to support, let you know about a call and things like that, and keep an environment that is positive. People like to be around a positive environment, and that's the reason why we're sharing these. Same thing with a Facebook group and everything else. Whenever you got one of your team members that move from one pin rank to another, post it into the group. That's what it's for, right? But if you, let's say you have your own podcast or you have an own event that gathers people's information and data, that's a no-no, because there's a lot of teams in there that don't still belongs to you, that don't want to see someone accumulating the information to go somewhere else, where if they choose to do something else, then now they're all exposed to whatever they choose to do. So that's the reason why often, so if if let's say I may happen to be deleting a few things, it's never about hiding what you want to share or say. It's out of context, or it kind of creates an environment that others are not going to like, because like I said. So these are all the things that you have to be mindful. I just wanted to add on that point. Now, number two, then we have the followers. So Tammy, you want to cover this one?
Yeah, so this is the biggest percentage that you'll have in your organization are the followers. These are the people, they don't do a lot, but they do a little, and often they show up. 65% of your organization will be followers. Okay. And some of them could turn into be leaders. Okay. So always love the followers, always compliment and support them as well. They may get, like I said, they may get one or two customers. They may not do a whole lot. A lot of people, they come in and they have so much expectation of everybody. And you have to understand that it's their business. It's their time. They can do this business. This is a volunteer army. They can do it as fast or as slow as they want to, but you can obviously support them, inspire them, encourage them to take bigger steps, especially when something new is coming, which is right now, right? With the comp plan, it's exciting. So understand that the majority of the people are going to be in this category. So really love these people. They love the product. They love the community. They love everything about it. And that's why they keep showing up, even if they're not the biggest producers. Okay. But they are the biggest volume in your organization. 65% is pretty massive. Okay. So, yeah, have private connections with them, find out if they want to take a few steps quicker, find out what maybe some objections they may be having. Maybe you can help them overcome some of these objections so they can run a little bit, or do a little bit of a campaign with them so they can run at that certain time in a month or whatever. And you'll see, because I know when I first started the industry, I think I've always been a leader, but at the beginning I was a follower because I didn't know what I was doing. But I did go to the leader and ask if I could follow them and go to some of their presentations, some of the things that they're doing, their one-on-ones. So at the time, everything was belly to belly, right? So I could learn, I could sit and observe and learn. And that's when I went from a follower to a leader, because I learned how they were doing things, just like the Saturday training. I went out and applied them, and I developed my wings through that. So, and I know a lot of people do that, right? So, yeah, you never know who's going to flourish into leadership from this category. So, yeah, Chris, did you want to?
No, I think you've covered pretty
Yeah,
much
you don't
everything.
want to scare them away
Yeah.
at all, or diss them because they're not your biggest producers. Please
Yeah, the
love them.
point the point here that I think it's important to also underline, this will constitute of 65% of your
Yeah,
organization.
massive.
That is the majority of people in your business. They are very, very important members. And this is where, again, you want to create an ecosystem. So you can send them into group trainings, and like a Telegram group or a Facebook group, like this Saturday training, the
Mhm.
presentations that are taking place on Wednesday evenings, Friday afternoon, or morning in our case. And I know we have some on Sundays. I know we have some in Italian. We have some that are hosted by some of the African leadership that I think are taking place on Monday. And I think I could be wrong here, guys. There's so many presentations. I know there's some trainings. I know Esther's doing some trainings, and Dr. Kio is doing some trainings. Dr. Kio, I think he was in London. Now he's back in Ghana. There's so many things going on with the team. But the fact here, folks, is just make sure that you're plugged into an organization. You're plugged into a team. That's very important, because these followers could turn out to be a supporter, which is the next point. Okay. So you don't want to scare them away. I just want to underline that by pressuring them. Maybe you're a type A personality and you go, 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 go. You want to win. You want to win. You want to succeed. You want to do this. That's wonderful. But be mindful that not everybody's in the same space. And you need to be a bit of like a chameleon, right? You need to adjust. I find that in our business, I've learned a lot of skills that a psychiatrist has to learn over the years, because you really have to be patient and you want to understand more than being understood. Underline this one. Learn to understand first before you want to be understood. That's coming from Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Very, very, if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah.
So these are things that will solidify your leadership, the respect that people have for you, is understand where they are, because you may have an issue, they may have an issue, and their issue could be quite valid from their perspective, not yours, theirs. And that's what a good leader does. You understand what their perspective is all about. So moving on to number 3, now you fall into a category of the supporters, right? The supporters, these people are producers, and they're kind of rare. What I mean by rare is, if you look at 100 people, they will be about 5% of your team. 5%. So if you're out there and you recruit one person a month, and it happens to be, either in the 27% that we talked about earlier, or the 65%, it may be the reason why you're not really having a lot of success is you're not doing enough. You're not bringing enough people. You're not exposing enough people to this to get to that 5% to eventually have a supporter. How do you know the supporters? They're very easy. They're very easy to spot. They're the one that constantly posts comments into the webinar chat, or if you happen to be in the live chat, or they're the one that will initiate presentation. They will initiate trainings. They do things like that, right? So they make sales, and they do everything you ask them to do. They will look at you and they will duplicate what you do very quickly. So these are the kind of people that you want to spend one-on-one time with, especially if it's your personal. You don't want to let them put them on the side, let them fend for themselves. You want to focus on them. These are the people that are going to trigger the rest of the team, that will support the team. The supporters are very, very, very important, because the goal is you want to convert them, matter of speaking, into leaders, which is the next point we're going to cover in a minute here. So this is a very important group of people. They're 5% of your team. So it's not like you're going to be busy supporting a lot of people. But in the same time, to go back to the followers, you don't want to forget about the followers. You want to make sure there's an environment for them to go to, so they can get fed with information that is needed for them to bring their 1-2 customers. But the supporters, you want to be closer to them. Right, Tammy? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And that's 5%, right, of your team. So if you're building the business and you have, I don't know, let's say you have 25%, 25 people, you got a foundation starting, which would be, if you get all the qualifications, 25 in your personal line of sponsorship, you're going to start recognizing the people that are doing more in this group. And that will be your 5%ers. So if you want more of the 5%ers in there, you want to make sure that you have a lot more people in your organization. Now that you know the percentages, you're going to see that it takes a while to build a solid foundation of an organization, because we've been in for a year. Keep in mind, we have a lot of experience in the industry and a lot of relationships built. So we're not the average. And so, it's going to happen quicker for us, but you gotta get out there and build it, and don't quit. I mean, the key is to keep bringing new people into the business, and they will filter into one of these categories. You're going to recognize it, one of these categories, and spend your time with the potential. Okay. Love everybody. Spend your time with the potential, and make sure you're there when there's questions and concerns, to help people understand, to help them grow, right? So, and I find that people don't give the network marketing industry a fair trial. People just judge based on the overall amount of people that join the industry, that most people are the whiners, complainers, and the followers, a majority, right? So I think that we really got to stand tall for our industry, because it really is an amazing profession if people treat it like a profession. And most people do not treat it like a profession, and they just complain about people, and they're not pulling their own weight, and they're just complaining about everybody else not pulling their weight. But I'm saying all of this because there's a lot of stuff on social media right now that they're just talking bad about the industry. And I think we need to stand tall and be proud, because this industry has transformed countless thousands and hundreds of thousands of people's lives around the world. And we know because
Yeah.
we've been in the industry for a long time.
I
And
agree, Tammy.
yeah, so I just wanted to add that, Chris. I know I'm kind of out of
No, no, it's fine. It's good.
context a little bit, but it's so important that we stand for this industry, because it's such an amazing industry. I've seen more people go from extreme poverty to living an amazing lifestyle, being home with their kids. I get emotional when I think about it, and they don't get that with a job. They don't learn the skills that they're learning in the field, but you get that through network marketing. It's such a gift to be part of our profession, really.
That's an understatement. I have learned more. I mean, I've went through the education. I became a software engineer, and I worked for the government. I worked for Corel System. Well, started with Corel System, and then I worked for the government. Then I became an independent contractor for the government, and so forth. And I walked away from all that for network marketing, and I went through the education, the whole 9 yard. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but the gain in building an organization with network marketing financially, it's been outweighing 100 times what these jobs were providing. But the biggest part is the learning that I've gone through this industry. And like Tammy say, it's really unfortunate that the general public out there looks down at the industry when it's a very rich industry of content. And you can get this particular training, folks. You may not realize this, but this kind of stuff, you don't get that for free. We're giving it to you because we believe in God Backup. We believe in the future of this company. We believe in you, and we're giving you our secrets. But these are things that Tammy and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years and being mentored by people like Eric Worre, John C. Maxwell. This is not cheap to be around these people, to be in the same room with these people, to
Yeah,
go to their homes and everything else. And we're sharing this with you not to brag, but to impress upon you that what you're earning, what you're getting here, it's very important knowledge. And those of you that take this knowledge to work, I'm telling you, you are going to be very grateful because your financial your rewards will be there, and it's coming very soon with the enhanced compensation plan that's coming in. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm preparing you. So that's why we're giving you this training, so you have a platform to understand. Well, I have all these people on my team. I brought these people on my team. Nobody's doing anything. Well, who did you bring in your team? Did you bring the 27 percenters or the 65 percenters or the 5 percenters, which is the supporters? Which will bring to the last point, which is the leadership. Number 4,
absolutely. Yeah,
right?
if you don't have the book, The 5 Levels of Leadership with John C. Maxwell, We have probably almost all of his books that he's written over the years in so many years, but the 5 levels of leadership, Chris and I actually, when he created the course, we were in the audience because we were part of a 3-day weekend and a 1-year mentorship with John C. Maxwell, talking about the different levels of leadership. It's such a good book. I have the audio book because I like to listen to this stuff when I'm walking or, doing things, keeping busy, doing things around the house. I like to learn while I do that. But the 5 levels of leadership, every single network marketer needs to read this book. It's so powerful. And you'll learn a ton about different levels. Maybe Chris, I don't know if we've done this on one of the Got Back Up sessions, but we should do one of the Saturdays on the 5 levels.
Yeah, we
It
should.
really is
We
that
definitely have the
important.
training. We've
So
conducted, and in fact, we did this in Ghana, we did this in
yeah,
Nigeria, we did this in Canada, we did this in the
everywhere,
US, we've did this in the Philippines,
everywhere,
we've done it all over the world. I think we
online,
did in
everywhere.
Australia, New
Yeah,
Zealand.
yeah,
We've been all over the world teaching these things, and it has created a very solid platform, which has elevated the leadership.
yeah.
There's an expression: the cream always rises to the top. When there's information like that, like I'm watching some of the comments, Esther, that
Thank
you
you,
posted,
Esther. That's
absolutely
amazing.
phenomenal.
There's the
And I saw
levels. Yeah,
Milado, actually great feedback here. And I know maybe some of you have done also that I missed, but
yeah,
the point here is, what is a leader? Well, these
yeah.
are the true leaders who takes action. They make up for about 3% of your team.
Mhm.
3%. So the only difference between the supporters and leaders are the leaders have enough confidence to take action themselves. They don't need to be told. They're not waiting for an environment. They will create the environment. That's the difference, right? Leaders don't need to be told what to do. They just do it.
Mhm.
And the fact is, and again, this is something I'm sharing with you here, but I'm sharing this. Just use your common sense on that comment I'm about to make. Work with people that deserves your time.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the people that are big producers, because that will come. Work with the people that are showing up for class. Work with the people that are inviting people to look at God Back Up. Work with the people that are in line with the vision of God Back Up. Don't focus all your time with the folks that are always complaining about things that are not working. Now, you want to make sure that their issues are addressed, for sure. But after a while, you got to move forward. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because Tammy and I are both guilty of that. We spend so much time with people that did not deserve our time. That's because we really want to help,
Yeah.
despite the fact that they don't want to help, right? So this is what I mean by that.
Yeah,
So
one thing you could do, and anybody who follows Eric Worre, they hear him say this so many times, is to give people assignments, small assignments, and give them a timeline to get it done. And that way you know that they're moving forward in their business. Okay, don't overwhelm people. The people that you work with, you know whether they have full-time jobs, part-time jobs. You have an idea of, their family life and their work life, to be able to give them an assignment. And you can make a generalized campaign within your organization. But when you're personally mentoring some people, yeah, just make sure that you're just not killing time, if you know what I mean. You're moving forward with that person. If that person has a lot going on in their life, just say, hey, I can see that you got a lot going on right now. Do you want to just postpone and wait for you to go through whatever they're going through, and then hey, let's get back on track. And then that way it doesn't sound like they're not important, because you want to make everybody feel important and make sure that they plug into the trainings. Even if the timing doesn't work for people for an opportunity presentation or a training, you do know they are recorded. So wake up an hour extra one morning and just do the recording. That way
Tammy,
you're
on that
always
note,
connected and learning.
there is a question from William. By the way, there is a little question button you can click on if you do have questions. Sometime in the comments, we might oversee what it is you're posting, but in the comment, in the Q&A, and this is for Q&A, folks, not comments, because obviously nobody sees those unless they click on the question. Will this meeting be recorded and available on YouTube? Obviously, yes.
Absolutely.
In fact, on the Telegram group, when the moment we launched the meeting, I share the link there. And the moment the meeting is done, I go in and start modifying the title and the content and everything else. So when people come in a day later, they can see the context of what this video is all about. So that's done. Okay, so we answered that.
And
Is
always make
there a way
sure
to
that your
put
team
is
members, sorry,
is
Chris, always make sure that your team members are getting on a recording. Because if you're not moving the needle with your team, it could be you're going to send out through the lead capture system, which Chris and I are starting to really work on, is, you know, you have your members, your resellers, you could send out an email and have the link to this recording and how important that recording was and whatever you want to say about it. Hey, don't miss this. And then that way your personal team members are getting informed. Okay, so it's another way of getting your team members engaged.
Yeah. So back to the questions here. We have Will. Again, is there a way to purchase qualified leads? Absolutely. In fact, I just purchased another bunch of 40 leads. We got back up. It's about $2 per lead,
Yeah, we do that.
and or $2.50 per lead. I really recommend it. And again, you need to understand that these are people that don't know you from Adam, and you need to build rapport with them because they decided to want information as in me. They want to ignite, they want to activate. So I just wanted to address that. But yes, this is available. You can also do some Facebook ad campaign. You can do a post. We'll talk about back to that in a minute. You can boost your post to your Facebook ad. There's so many things you can do where you can lead them to send you a Facebook message that at this point you can start interacting with. Now that's a complete different topic, but I just wanted to kind of address that. Another thing that's important here, folks, is consistency wins the race all the time.
Mhm.
You know, you probably, maybe some of you remember I posted a little tip into the Telegram group, right? When I say that never get your foot off the gas pedal. You can slow down, you can go faster, but never come down to a complete stop. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of folks do. They completely detached, they completely stopped. The business hasn't grown, and the momentum stopped. Think of it as an aircraft, a plane that's trying to take off, right? It's trying to take off and you stop. And he's trying to take off, you stop. But eventually you run out of runway, right? You won't be able to take off. Then you end up on the grass or whatever. So, or in the water. So what's very important here is that right at the beginning, you want to get momentum. And when you start your business, there's an enormous amount of pressure to take the plane so the plane can take off. But once you're in momentum and you're in the air, you can slow down a little bit, right? And then just kind of keep things on a momentum, or on a what's the word I'm looking for? On a consistent motion, but you don't have to put pressure all the time. And then after that, you know, so there's many ways to look at this, but I think you understand my point. Is consistency is key to succeeding in this business. In fact, any endeavor you do in life. Network marketing is a very legitimate endeavor. This is the reason why the FTCs and all these regulators are coming on board, because there's a lot of companies that are starting out there. It's a legitimate opportunity. I pay my taxes. We buy our properties, we do our investments, everything is legit, but the money comes from a network marketing company. And then this income will vary based on your aptitude and desire to work and everything else. When I say aptitude, you don't need to be a brainiac or someone who's super experienced. You just need someone to be consistent and doing the same activities, the same what we call money-making activities. In fact, we're going to give you some tips here on maybe your daily method of operation. We call it DMO, on what you may need to do to have a bit more of a social presence. So Tammy, you want to cover that?
Yeah, for sure. And I liked what Randy shared with everybody last week. If you didn't see last week's interview, definitely go back and watch that recording as well, because he talks about the 5 penny rule. And he has 5 pennies on one side of the table. And each time he has a conversation with somebody, sends them information, he moves the penny. right? So he doesn't stop until he's got the 5 pennies on the other side of the table. I thought that was a great illustration of how to build this business. Every time you get into your area, you just grab 5 coins or whatever it is. Yeah, and you just move it. I have this easy button. It's so funny. I see it's right here. And
That
every
was
time
easy.
I would
You know, that
set
big
my
red button?
goals
That
for
was
how
easy.
many people I would have. And every time I would talk to somebody, oh,
The battery's dead.
oh, the battery's dead.
I was wondering if that would work because we've been in Florida for like so many months and
Oh, yeah, the battery's dead. But it
we've had
goes,
that for
that was
years.
easy. So every time I talk to somebody, that was easy. That was easy. Yeah, anybody in Canada, US, Staples, that's where I got that. It was so cool. And that's my accountability right here. So you got to find something that's going to inspire you that you can have a little bit of fun, right? Because let's face it, people create a lot of fear around this stuff. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is building relationships with people. And through the process of connecting with them, seeing what you have in common, you know, I'm sure that everybody has a phone. You get talking about, what they're using for a service and, what kind of money they're paying. And something came into your lap, right? And people are always curious by nature, you guys. But if you just show up and say, hey, I just started this opportunity, right away, they're going to turn around and run. Okay. Because they hear it every single day, right? All the time. They hear it all the time. So the key is to be consistent doing activities, your DMO, your daily method of operation. Okay. So if you're doing a lot of social media, people who are posting on social media, you want to be consistent with your posts, post at least 3 times. Whatever platform you choose, post at least 3 times on social media. Okay. And then you want to meet 5 new contacts daily, whether it's social media or, when you're out and about doing things. The key is to always adding new people to your list. And you should have constantly a growing list. We've done all of the trainings. They're called the Success Cycle series. It's on the boards. So maybe, Chris, you can put the boards link in the chat, because I know there's so many new people coming on board that we need to make sure that everybody is connected to the tools that are available for you to grow, and make sure your team members are connected to the tools, right? So everybody can learn from the platforms and grow from them. And you want to always invite. So set your target. If it's 5 people that you want to invite to come and look at a presentation, write your 5. You want to be energetic about it, in putting a number that you have to stretch to get, because that's how you grow. Because if you just say, oh, I'm just going to invite 1 person, I mean, a lot of the time, if you're just counting on that 1 person, you're going to take forever to grow your business. But set a target where you can reach it, right? And then if you hit that target soon, don't quit. So many people go, oh, I got my 5. I'm done for the day. Keep going. If you're in momentum, if you want to grow and hit momentum, put effort into this, you guys. We put a lot of effort into this in the last year, a lot of effort into it. And now we got a thriving organization. And we've got, like, when you look at the category of the types of people, we've got exactly, when we look at that, Chris, when you look at the percentages of the numbers of people in our organization, we've got these in every category. And some of them came in with already these leadership skills and supporter skills and stuff like that. But constantly adding to the list. So invite as many people as you can. Follow up. That's the key. If you're not following up with people, you're not making money. That's the bottom line. People need to be followed up with. Don't think people are just going to go and do it, because they don't. Life gets in the way. They get busy. They need to be reminded. Okay. In a nice way, in an exciting way, in an engaging way. And then 3 prospects to watch a video. So if that's a number that makes sense to you, get 3 people to watch a video. If you can do it daily, it's perfect. It's perfect. Will every day, even though you put out a number, will every day be like that? No. That's why you got to make up in the numbers when you can, because some days some things come up, right? So it's to try your best to have a consistency in your daily method of operation. If you have zero daily method of operation to build your got backup business right now, then you're basically in the follower category. You love the product, and you might run into somebody once in a while just by chance. But if you want to grow yourself, grow your skills, you definitely want to put some effort into it.
So Tammy is giving you here a DMO, daily method of operation. And there might be a lot of different things you can do. But if you keep posting, what's going to happen is some people will try to friend you on Facebook. This morning, yesterday, I got one, and they're interacting. I even asked him, "How did you find me?" Right? He says, "Well, Facebook recommended you to for us to connect. Whatever. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. The point is, we're connected." And I sent him the page that we created that we used to prospect with. And the guy says, "Wow, that's a very rich page of content, and this is wonderful." And do you bill organically, or that means do you do basically posting that's organic where or you do Facebook ads? I do both. Lately, I haven't done much Facebook ads. It's been basically organic. And I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn, I use Pinterest, I use Twitter, and I use TikTok, and did I say Instagram? So the fact here is that's kind of what I use. And you don't need to use them all. You can just pick one that you're comfortable with. Trust me, at the beginning, I was a little overwhelmed with all of them. Now I'm in a routine. So, and that's the point. And now you have multiple presentations. If you want to have the corporate presentation where Joel comes in and show some of the things that's coming, and some of the unique information that he has, because he's the CEO of God Backup. So he knows some things. So that's a great environment to send people to on Wednesday evening. On Friday afternoon, Tammy and I are consistently presenting the same thing, but in the same time, this past Friday, we added a bit more. We added a segment where Joel is showing how to copy your local files to the cloud. I went through a little bit of a back office segment, and there's some changes occurring right now where the leaderboard is a bit different. What we usually see, what we see the week reports, that's not there right now because it's being updated with the new compensation plan, the new report that's coming. There's so much good stuff that's happening. I'm really, really excited for all of you and all of us here. This is exciting time. We're dealing with a company that is providing a service that Dr. K always say often, this is the new oil, right? The cloud service, it's in demand. It's inexpensive. I look at Netflix. I mean, their stocks are almost at $700, 600 and something, right? For a $10 a month product. That now, of course, they add all these extra features that people are paying for. But the point is, it started with a $10 product a month. Same thing with Amazon Prime, right? So why are they so massive? It's because it's inexpensive. It's a good service, and everybody can actually use this, and it doesn't really bother them that much because it's not all that expensive. That's exactly what Gut Backup falls into. And it offers 3 times what the competitors are offering. To top it all off, an opportunity now that's just been massively increased because of the enhanced compensation plan. Folks, this is exciting times. Those of you that are taking charge now, that are moving forward now, you are in for one hell of a treat. Sorry, I didn't want to use the word hell. It's a bad expression. You know what I'm saying. You're in for one treat here that is really going to serve you well. Grab onto this. The information that we shared with you here today, we're coming to the end of our session here today, is again, these are the 4 different downline types that you're going to come across. People that are whiners and complainers. Just learn to work with these guys, right? Don't push them away, because they could end up being a leader. Who knows? Right. And then you have the followers. The followers, folks, you gotta be very, very mindful of these, because this is your residual income. You need to make sure that there is an organization, that there is a system, there is a group or a training. You're very fortunate that we offer these things, because you don't need to really do it yourselves. You can plug into it. And Tammy and I are really maintaining a professional upfront, that we want to make sure that whatever we do is always geared to the greater good of the entire company. So everything is always very generic, not team specific. And of course, then you have the supporters. And then the supporters are starting to do things and they will do everything you tell them to do and they will do them well. And then the leaders are going to just take the lead from themselves. They don't need to be told. They're just going to do it. And again, these are the percentage that we covered earlier. So keep that in mind. And then we finish with the daily method of operations on posting 3 times and 3 posts on social media on a daily basis, at least, 5 new contacts every single day. Doesn't mean you're speaking with them, at least make 5 new contacts, right? Get 5 people to look at the presentations, point them to the presentation and you don't have to wait for the presentation to take place. We have almost a year of presentation. Pick one that you like, right? There might be some that has a different atmosphere, a different synergy that you like, and pick that one and use that one in your marketing and your email marketing and everything that you do, right? And then from there, you want to focus on a relationship, and you want to focus also on third-party credibility. Invite people to validate your call. Doesn't matter if you're in Ghana or if you're in Canada. Today we use Facebook Messenger, we use WhatsApp, we use Telegram, whatever, right? It's so easy today to communicate and to do some very professional validation with third-party credibility, and that's a very important part of the training that Tammy and I have conducted. So this comes to the end of our session here, Tammy, and I hope that this was helpful. Tammy, as we end this session, do you have any last words that you want to share as we complete our session today?
Your picture on the back flipped, but I was thinking of Yoda,
Oh,
there is no try, you just do it
do
every
or do
single
not. There
day.
is no try.
There is no try. You just do it. Don't say the word try. Just do. Okay. Do get things done. The more often you do it, you develop a stronger posture and the results happen. Right. So it's to be active every day, building your business. And you'll see you don't have to put a lot of efforts. And those who are doing the email marketing, Chris and I, we're learning that in the last year, and probably we're more active in the last 6 months than we were at the beginning because we were just kind of learning the platform. But I can't believe the value of what we have for $10. It just blows me away, the
Hey,
value
Tammy,
we have.
I want to point out something. Dr. Kaway, I'm really excited to see that here. June 30th, African Maiden God Backup Conference. When I talk about a leader will just do, here's an example. He's
Perfect.
organizing an event like we did in Toronto last year and so forth, which will be repeating as we are moving forward. But that I applaud you, Dr. Kaway. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, right? I know Esther, you're part of the group too, and you're there and you do all the wonderful things, and you're always in the top chart. And so at the end of the day, folks, this is what we're talking about. Take a lead. Move forward. Don't wait for people to tell you where to go or what to do. At the beginning, it's okay. You're learning. But eventually, you've heard this over and over and over. Start applying. Start leading. We need your voices. We need your voices. Folks, this company, when it becomes $1 billion in sales, do you realize 75% is paid in a compensation plan? Do you realize how many heads are going to turn when that happens? Well, it's going to happen way before that. But do you understand? This is big. This is massive. I hope you guys are seeing that. And these trainings are going to give you the guidelines to be able to tap into all of this. So, Tammy, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I hope, folks, that you got some great content here today. Remember, on Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Joel is going to be hosting the presentation. On Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And feel free to post them in the chat here, guys. If you have your own meetings there, by all means, do that. Or in a Telegram group, if you have any meetings there. That's very important, folks. I want to share with you here on some protocol. In the Telegram group, when you're posting things there, make sure that it's generic. It is not team specific. This is a group that there's many, many, many team members that comes from all different organizations. And I monitor this like police. I make sure that this information in there will serve the greater good of the herd and not just a selected few. So keep that in mind as you're posting your thing. Don't collect information from people. Don't try to make a list. If you have a podcast or things like this, just be mindful of that because it collects information and then it just creates that uncomfortable situation for people. Okay. We wanted that group to grow to eventually 5,000 members, 10,000 members. Hey, that group can have up to 200,000 members. So you understand how powerful this can become. And we want to be very, very diligent on what we do in there. And as the team grows, of course, we'll have the different 4 types of personality people that will be in there that will have to be monitored. That'll be our job. But just make sure that you take advantage of these areas to let them know about your events so we can help you grow and grow the company in the process. So everybody, it was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. And we hope that, again, this session was helpful for you. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on Wednesday, Fridays, or whatever events that are taking place throughout the week. Bye for now.